Hello, everyone. It is almost the end of the year, and we are happy to bring you another interesting episode of Eye on Port, the program that has been dedicated to bring Ghana's ports and maritime industry closer to you. It is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goil, PLC Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Eye on Port is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, this week's episode promises a lot of varied and exciting content, so stay with us. We will begin with a conversation we had with the Executive Director for the Blue Economy and Governance Consult, Rista Ni Ama Amafio. We discussed the implications of a new moratorium by the International Commission for the Conservation of Atlantic Tunas, ICAT, where Ghana is a contracting partner. This new moratorium requires that all tuna vessels using fish aggregating devices within the Atlantic Ocean cease operations between January 1 to March 13 of next year. We discussed the impact this particular moratorium will have on those in the tuna supply chain. Here is a summary.
When you say a fish aggregating device, what does it mean?
So it means just what it says, device that is able to aggregate tuna. Tuna swim very, very fast. But, a group of fish is called school.
Right.
And the rate at which they speed, if you fish them as they swim freely, it becomes very difficult for you to catch them.
Right.
And they are very fast-moving migratory species. So we use what we call fish aggregating devices. That brings them together. So they aggregate around the device. And so we have buoys. Sometimes when you go to the port, you find out we have baboons. And then so we set those fat in the sea. And then the tuna aggregates around them. And so when they do, then it becomes easier to harvest them.
Right.
And of course, in Ghana, it's basically only tuna sector that is allowed to use fat. Almost none of the other sectors are allowed to use fat.
Right.
So, for instance, the use of light in fishing is a use of fat. Because light fishing is fat fishing.
Right.
Because it aggregates the fish. So any device that
the light attracts the fish, and
aggregates them is called a fish aggregating device.
Okay.
So ICAT has regulation on the use of fish aggregating device. So the explanation is that the moratorium we are experiencing from 1st January is not a total closure.
Okay.
The moratorium is not saying we cannot do tuna fishing.
Okay.
But what he says is that you cannot fish on fat.
Right.
So you don't go lay fat and then go fish on them. You've committed an offense. But you can do free school fishing. So if the tuna is swimming and you feel you'll be able to fish them without fat,
yes,
you are free to do that. So I remember some of our vessels had tried to do that, but we ended up losing so much because when you do free school fishing, it's so difficult to be. You need a very experienced captain to be able to do.
A very expensive?
Experienced captain to be able to do free school fishing. So the closure is on fat. And ICAT has a whole fat management regime. For instance, we are moving away from non-biodegradable materials in constructing the fat to totally biodegradable material for fat construction as means of conserving the marine environment and ensuring that you do not leave. And it's not just biodegradable, but non-entangling biodegradable.
Right.
Because when you have an entangling material, it does what we call ghost fishing.
Yeah.
So even when you are not deliberately fishing, because it's entangling, it ends up entangling fish and marine mammals. So we are moving into non-entangling fat, and then it must be biodegradable because you may lose your fat.
Yes.
I remember I've had an email from Texas saying that they found one of our buoys in Texas. Because once you leave them, they swim.
I see.
And so they move by the current, so you may lose your fat.
But how are you able to tell that this one is from this particular area?
No, the fat are marked and they have communication materials with the vessels, so the vessels know where their fats are.
Okay.
Now, sometimes you have fishermen also stealing our fat and coming to sell the satellite equipment to the vessels again or demanding for money.
Right.
So fat is one major activity, and you have these measures because if you do not introduce management measures for FAD, you are likely, because they aggregate fish, you are likely to, at some point, aggregate and fish gravid, that's pregnant fish,
Right.
and also to fish juvenile, and it becomes a problem for conservation.
What would you say would be the immediate impact of this particular closure from January 1 to March 12, stipulated in the release by the Fisheries Commission?
Well, some of the most important industries we have are the two canneries we have in Tema, Pioneer Food Cannery and Cosmo.
Yeah.
And at least 80% or so of their tuna supply come directly from industry. So for this period that we are not fishing, I'm sure from 31st December, almost all the vessels will come to port.
Yeah.
And we'll do our supply. But once we do the supply, they may not get another supply until around the middle to the end of April, when fishing vessels may start coming back from the closure. Because, we are supposed to return around the 13th, but if you decide to take license for the 2 weeks, you'll be required to pay for a whole quarter fishing license, which is too expensive. So most of the fishing vessels will start fishing.
If you say too expensive, how much is it to renew your license?
We pay $135 per GRT of the vessel.
Per GRT?
Yes.
Please, you're on national television. It's not everybody that knows GRT.
No, GRT, like I mentioned, gross registered tonnage of the vessel.
Okay.
So
$135.
Yes. So basically, that's the dead weight of the vessel.
Okay.
And so if your vessel is 1,000 GRT, you pay $135 times 1,000 for the year.
Wow. Times 1,000.
Yes.
Gross registered tonnage. Okay.
So you pay $135 times 1,000.
That's huge indeed, yeah.
You get it? So, and that is divided into quarters. So if I don't fish for the first quarter, it means that first quarter license will be taken out. But if I decide to fish for the 2 weeks in that first quarter, I'll have to pay for the full quarter. Even though I have not fished from January to probably I start fishing from 13th March.
Yes.
And when I start going from 13th March, most of the vessels are not going to fish. They are only going to set their fat. So we pay for license only to go and set fat. And that is just on the high side.
Yeah.
The other issue has to do with the market women, because the local markets for the tuna industry are generally run by the women.
Yeah.
And we know women play major role when it comes to keeping the home.
Yeah.
Now, for these 3 months that we are not fishing, it means that most of them will not have tuna to sell. And
They'll be out of business for this while.
Those who buy tuna from the market for their meals would also not get tuna at some point in time. The effect may not be immediate, because from January to from 1st January to around 15th to 20th, most of the vessels that are at sea now will be discharging, so there will be a lot of tuna in the market. But getting towards the end of February into March, you may start feeling the impact of the unavailability of tuna. And because we've lost our small pelagic, I mean the sardinella and the mackerel, a lot more people depend now on tuna. So if you are not getting, then what it means that all of us now will tend to the coastals to depend on imported fish.
Yes.
And so basically that is one of the impact. Now, so for 3 months, the market sector is not operating. But we continue to pay our staff.
Yes.
Because our crew and office staff are permanent staff that we pay throughout the year. So whether there is closure or no closure, we'll have to continue to give them their basic salaries.
Yes.
And also pay for their social security and their taxes and all that. So the companies will have to deal with that. Whether we are fishing or not, we still have to deal with it, and it's a cost. Now, when we park our vessels at anchorage, when we are not fishing, we have to park our vessels at anchorage. Apart from those that may go for, of course, it's an opportunity to go for dry docking and do maintenance and repairs. But those that are not going for dry docking or doing maintenance and repairs would have to park what we call lay the vessel up. The word is not park; it's actually lay up our vessels at the anchorage, and that comes with costs, because you need to run your auxiliary engines in order to keep the vessel floating and to be pumping water out of the vessel.
Yeah.
You need to keep security on the vessels because you can't just lay them up at the anchorage without security.
Yes.
You need to keep security in the vessel and pay the security so that they will monitor and watch all your things in the vessel. So even though the vessels are laid up for 3 months and we are not fishing,
but they are still running because you accrue debts because you pay them.
So viewers, we at Iron Port hope that those in the tuna sector are able to adequately prepare ahead of this closure, and we pray that the expected outcomes of this conservation action are achieved. Now let us hear from you on this particular topic after we go on break, and then we'll be back with more news. Stay tuned. This message is from Abna Mansa in Accra. She asks, is it possible for tuna vessels to fish without FAD? And if possible, how feasible is it? Hello, Abna Mansa. Rista says, yes, it is possible, but the challenge is that without FAD, it is expensive and catches are extremely low. My name is Nikwe Nungwa. How much input did Ghanaian tuna vessel owners have in such embargoes? Because it looks unfair. Please educate me, Richster. Hello, Richster says, the moratorium is a decision by ICAT based on advice from the Standing Committee on Research and Statistics, and decisions are by consensus and no voting is done.
Guys, no, I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, boss, fill my tank with Super XP Ron 95.
Fill up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goil.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for mami.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goil Super XP Ron 95. Goil, good energy.
Goil is good energy. Electricity. Then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. My goods are on the IC covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance. Oh, Ajima, tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome back from the break. Now let us move on to other news and activities from our local port and maritime sector. This includes the commissioning of 2 world-class tugboats here in the port of Tema. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has commissioned 2 new Damen tugboats as part of efforts to fortify the efficiency of the ports of Ghana. The 2 heavy-duty tugboats, which can berth any post-Panamax vessel, were christened after 2 former Director Generals of the Port Authority, namely Group Captain Retired Edward Alexander Awovri and Nesta Persigali. They are expected to play a crucial role in ensuring the efficiency and safety of Ghana's maritime activities and also contribute to the prosperity and progress of the nation. Speaking at an impressive ceremony, a Deputy Minister of Transport, Alassane Tampoli, who represented the Minister of Transport, said, with the expansion at Terminal 3 at the Port of Tema and ongoing initiatives to bring in some of the world's largest merchant ships, it is useful to expand the port's marine operational capabilities. He said, for Ghana to compete favorably in today's maritime space, infrastructure and modern equipment must be provided, and that is what government set out to support and encourage since taking office.
This occasion further demonstrates our commitment to fostering economic growth, ensuring maritime safety, and positioning Ghana as a beacon of maritime excellence in the West African sub-region. Government's commitments to port and maritime sectors in general, indeed, Goil is clear with a significant investment in infrastructure and service improvements across our ports.
The board chairman of GPHA, Isaac Osei, said the commissioning of tugboats, coupled with the massive expansion works at the port of Takoradi, lay credence to the premium the government places on the enhancement and improvement of infrastructure in the port.
In a world where maritime safety is paramount, it is additionally vital to know that these tugboats have inbuilt firefighting apparatus to help in the mitigation of fire incidents. So by investing in these powerful and versatile tugboats, we are not only addressing the current needs of our ports, but we are also looking at the marine capabilities to accommodate the evolving demands of the shipping industry in the future.
The Director General of GPHA, Michael Lugoje, paid glowing tributes to the 2 former Director Generals for their strength, resilience, and dedication to duty they exhibited during their tenure.
As for our 2 distinguished former DGs that we are honoring, I think we'll need one whole week to tell you the history. I can only say congratulations. We are proud of them for all the work they've done. Group of Captain Awovri for being the founding father of GPHA when 3 different state agencies have to merge into one. You can imagine, even us struggling with just one GPHA, it's not easy. And somebody has to make 3 distinguished organizations into one and get them to set up and work effectively. You can imagine the trouble he went through at that time as the head and all his team members who work with him. So congratulations. We are very proud of you. God bless you for preparing the grounds for some of us to continue. Mr. Gali, of course, 32 years, serving Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority at various levels, not just in Ghana. He was the one Ghana chose to go and help Sierra Leone reform their ports.
The honorees expressed their gratitude to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority for recognizing their contribution to the Port Authority.
Please accept my humble thanks for a great honor you bestowed me. It is my prayer that the crew of this tugboat
You work as tirelessly as I've worked for Mother Ghana. And remember, the good God will reward you abundantly. I want to thank the board, the management for the honor done me by naming this trust after me. Like I said, I spent 33 years.
The Ghana Shippers Authority has intensified its education on demurrage and the need for players in the port sector to ensure that demurrage charges are reduced drastically. The latest of these seminars, which has been held in Tema, brought together stakeholders like the Customs Division of GRA, Ghana Link Network Services Limited, freight forwarders and shipping lines, among others. The head of the Tema branch of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Charles Darlin Asiedu, said, disclosed that demurrage and detention and other time-related costs impact negatively on the shipper, thereby eroding the cargo interest holders' capital and in the long run affect the prices of goods and services in the economy of Ghana. He said the Ghana Shippers Authority has consistently and constructively waged a campaign on demurrage costs, which have seen the decline of estimated demurrage payments from 76 million USD in 2017 to 27 million USD in 2019, with a further decline to 19 million USD in 2021.
The downward trajectory of these figures bears eloquent testimony of the impact of the combined effect of the sensitization campaign and the very bold government initiatives and interventions in the cargo clearance process, like the paperless port project and pre-arrival declaration in ICOMS.
Despite the decline in estimated demurrage cost over the period, he said the authority is poised to continue with its sensitization drive to push the cost at the port to the barest minimum in the interest of shippers. The head of freight and logistics at the Ghana Shippers Authority, Fred Asiedu, touched on issues of overstayed charges at the MPS Terminal 3.
It's a charge that is adding up to the cost of doing business, and we thought that it's something we need to engage MPS about and then ensure that we are able to resolve those issues. There are issues also regarding weekend work. So, for instance, the shipping lines won't be in their offices over the weekend. However, those weekends count.
Assistant Commissioner General Duties at the Customs Division of GRA, Elizabeth Potaki, said Customs was committed to facilitating trade at the ports of Ghana.
If the documents are presented early enough, we'll be able to work through everything, and there will be no problems with demurrage from our end. Our officers are able and ready to work.
The co-chairman of the GIF monitoring team, Romeo Fimpon, said demurrage is avoidable.
It's an extra charge. You can choose to pay or not. All right? And we're going to look at how we can avoid this extra charge. It is always important to take note that when we get used to best practices, we will always avoid this extra charge.
After 5 years, the Customs Brokers Association of Ghana, CUBAG, has held its second ever annual general meeting in light of the association's ongoing evolution. The association's over 3 decades of existence have been fraught with a number of administrative challenges, leading to the formation of the Interim National Executive Committee in 2021 to usher in a new dawn. Since then, the association has been gradually undergoing reforms that will ensure that the professional body stands the test of time. Under the theme Consolidating the Gains of the Transition for Success in an Ever-Changing Industry, this year's AGM brought together CUBAG members and key stakeholders in the Eastern Regional Capital, Takoradi. Chairman of the meeting and Oman Hene of the new Damen traditional area, Dasebre Kweku Boateng II, encouraged the association to improve upon the gains made since the last AGM.
Some of these gains include, but not limited to, the following: going digital from the old ways of doing things or business, ensuring a problem-free import by doing their homework well, avoiding delays and damages to cargo by ensuring custom papers are complete, accurate, and submitted on time. And then finally, representing their clients to the best of their abilities.
The acting president of CUBAG, Nana Fredu Oforiatta, stated that the association's AGM will be a permanent fixture moving forward.
Although we are not exactly proud of our record with regards to some of these things, our compatriots have done so many. They are in their 20-something years and counting. But let us not also lose sight of the fact of our history. We have come a very long way. Let us acknowledge, in acknowledging the efforts and sacrifices of our founding members and predecessors, learn the valuable lessons from their shortcomings so as not to relent in our efforts at restructuring to reposition CUBAG as a trade association par excellence.
Key stakeholders present shared some goodwill messages.
Ghana Link Network Services Limited is proud to stand in solidarity with the Customs Brokers Association of Ghana. We look forward to the outcomes of this AGM, and we are confident that the discussions and resolutions will further strengthen our partnership and contribute to the overall advancement of our industry.
The authority looks forward to enriching our collaboration with the Committee of Freight Forwarder Associations, of which CUBAG is an integral part. We have already proposed the post-clearance audit and placement of marine insurance locally as some of the potential areas of our collaboration in the ensuing year.
I am confident that with your dedication, collaboration and innovation, we can build a more efficient, transparent and prosperous trading environment for the benefit of all Ghanaians. Let us all look forward to charting the next phase of this journey of transformation together.
The management and staff of Port of Takoradi, together with its customers, commercial and regulatory stakeholders, congregated at the GPHA Takoradi Senior Staff Clubhouse Auditorium for a carol service and festival of 9 lessons to usher in the festive season. The port director, managers, customers, commercial and regulatory stakeholders took turns and read 9 Bible verse lessons from the books of Genesis, Isaiah, Luke, Matthew and John, interspersed with choral songs by the Takoradi Efiekuman Christ the King Catholic Youth Choir and the GPHA Port of Takoradi in-house staff choir. The director of Port of Takoradi, Peter Mobediako, expressed gratitude to the port community for their immense support and commitment to the port business throughout the year. He assured them of the Port of Takoradi's commitment to creating an efficient and business-friendly environment for their business to thrive.
We are very much humbled by the mercies of the good Lord Jesus Christ, who keeps us perfect and blesses us with great gifts that makes us share His love together. If we want to look back, starting from Demurrage, if we were to see the things that the good Lord has prevented from happening to us, if it was a film that was supposed to be shown to us, we would have been surprised.
The port's estate and environment manager, David Helm, delivered a spiritual call to action Christmas message in the spirit of Christ as the Son of the living God.
Let's rise up and let's pray the man for our people. Let's pray the man for GPHA. Let's pray the man for Mother Ghana. Let's pray the man for Takoradi.
The board, management and staff of Ghana's #1 oil marketing company, Goil PLC, have come together to praise God for another successful year of business. The service was also used to ask for God's grace and guidance for the incoming year. The all-white affair saw the Goil family treated to praise and worship songs from famed music trio Daughters of Glorious Jesus, as well as performances from other music groups. The board chairman of Goil, Reginald Daniel Laye, represented by board member Stephen Tingan, was full of praise to God for maintaining Goil as the market leader.
It's been a challenging year, but with Goil on our side, I think Goil continues to be the market leader in the oil marketing companies industry. And I think for that, we have to continue to thank God for his unflinching support for the company and to see us through to this day.
Group CEO and Managing Director of Goil, Kwame Osei-Prempeh, stated that despite the year being very challenging, Goil was able to bring major projects to completion.
Our projects, glory be to God, within the year, our bitumen project, we've completed and we've started sales. Our cylinder recirculation, we've completed and done everything by January. We're going commercial. Our auto gas, we completed and we are selling, we are using it. Everything. So amidst all the challenges, if we count our blessings and name them one by one, all we can say is that praise be to you, God, you've done well for us.
He paid tribute to deceased members of the Goil family, including the late Alex Josiah Adziu, who last served as Chief Operating Officer of the company.
I want to crave your indulgence to do one thing. This year, we lost 3 members of the company. Key among them is one of the masterminds behind this fellowship, Reverend Alex Adziu, our Chief Operating Officer, and 2 others, Amegachi and another one. Can we please stand up and observe just a minute silence?
Let us now turn our attention to the global stage and pick a few international shipping and maritime related news.
The Maritime and Ports Authority of Singapore has called for an expression of interest for the supply of methanol as a marine bunker fuel in the port of Singapore. The expression of interest seeks to gather proposals for end-to-end methanol bunkering solutions scheduled to be implemented in Singapore in 2025. This includes methanol storage, supply and delivery of methanol, quality assurance plans, safe handling of methanol, and emergency response measures, and the required manpower and expertise for methanol bunkering operations in the port of Singapore. This initiative aims to secure a resilient methanol supply, aligning with the anticipated influx of methanol-capable vessels in the coming years, thereby addressing the international bunkering needs in the port of Singapore. China's software developer COSCO Shipping Technology has become the latest company to join 1C as the International Autonomous Shipping Association continues to expand its geographical footprint following a period of significant growth in 2023. COSCO Shipping Technology, a subsidiary of COSCO Shipping Group, one of the largest shipping and logistics companies in the world, is the 6th company to join 1C this year. Bringing a wealth of knowledge and experience in the development of autonomous shipping technologies, COSCO Shipping Technologies is also the first association member from China.
It's now time for our Word of the Day segment, where we introduce words, phrases, jargons, and terminologies that we often use in this industry so you can get familiar with them. Today's phrase is container pool.
Container pool refers to an agreement between parties that allows the efficient use and supply of containers, a common supply of containers available to the shipper as required.
Let us now take a look at the schedule of vessels that have berth in the ports of Tema and Takoradi, as well as those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. This is where we draw the curtain on today's edition of Iron Pot. We hope you've been informed and educated. Remember, all Iron Pot content can be found on our YouTube channel, Iron Pot. Subscribe, like, and give us feedback. Thank you for watching.